Well, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night from right here at the SSE Arena, Wembley, London, England, Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, in association with Mr. Bob Arum from Top Rank Incorporated, Epic Sports and Entertainment, and 258 Management are proud to present the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the unified heavyweight championship of the world. Televised here in the UK on Sky Sports Box Office, and it'll be broadcast all around the world in over 200 plus countries on DAZN. Sponsored by William Hill, StubHub, Lannistar, AO.com, and JD Sports. This bout is sanctioned under the auspices of the British Boxing Board of Control. The steward in charge is Mr. Charles Giles, and the WBA, the WBO, the IBF, and the WBO. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the moment of truth is almost here, so let's go ahead and let's meet the fighters as we bring them to the stage for the official weigh-in. Introducing up first, the challenger. He stands 6'4.5" tall. His professional record, 28 victories against 1 defeat. He has 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Sofia, Bulgaria, he's the former European, IBF International, and WBA Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Kubrat, the Kubrat Pulev.
Challenger Kubrat Pulev about to take the scales. It's been an interesting week, a different experience for both fighters in the bubble. How do you think they would have dealt with it, Barry?
I think it's an adjustment. I think maybe more for Joshua than Pulev, because Pulev's used to travelling maybe more. So he's used to being away from home, I would have thought. But for Joshua not to be stuck in his camp but having to stay in that bubble, that's got to be, especially when you get to the level that he's at that superstardom, it's got to be a strange feeling.
59.7 pounds for the challenger.
259. 239.7 then for Kubrat Pulev. How does he look to you, Carl?
He looks in good shape. You know, he's not carrying much excess fat around his midriff, around the stomach and the love handle area for the layman, around the back of the kidneys and the back. He looks like he's stripped any excess body fat off there. And to me, yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. He's 39 years old, don't forget, and you start to pack a bit of pounds on around that area. But he's obviously been working very hard. He looks in good shape to me.
In 2012, he captured Olympic gold. And now, as a professional, his record stands at 23 victories, with 21 of those coming by way of knockout. Against only 1 defeat, and that he avenged in the ring. Fighting out of London, England, he is the fighting pride of the United Kingdom. Here is the reigning, defending,
So Pulev coming in around 9 pounds lighter than his last fight. How's AJ looking to you? I mean, he seems to have adopted a even more focused approach. He's spoken about the pressure that he felt last year and how that has almost made him a better fighter. He's learned to handle things even better. Have those questions, you think, that were around the rematch a year ago, do you think they've all been answered?
No. I don't. I think for him, the rebuilding, I think the fact he came back with a good win was great for his confidence. For the first time, he was the darling of boxing. For the first time he got beat, you're not that good after all, and all that's thrown at you all of a sudden. Then he avenged that and showed, listen, I can do something different now. Look how good I am. But as Carl mentioned earlier, it didn't answer the questions about his confidence in his chin. No, is he going to be wary now to want to go power forward and be the aggressor and be the animal that he was earlier on in his career that everyone fell in love with? And I think that's the difference. I think he can be that. I think he still can and still will. But there's still some questions, still things you want to see. And I think this fight is a good fight for that. I think Pulev's a good fighter. But as Carl said, he's 39 years of age. Won't be at his peak. And I think it's about who really stamps their authority the quickest.
I think Pulev will take a lot of confidence from Anthony Joshua's previous performances. He'll see that he got shook to his boots by Dillian Whyte, a naive, quite green Dillian Whyte. And then he was down on the floor. Yes, he got up to win against Klitschko, but he was down and badly hurt and shaken up and there almost for the taking. And that, that beating he took, and it was a beating off Ruiz, wasn't really rectified as satisfactorily as I would have liked to have seen it when he rematched Ruiz and just outboxed him and outmanoeuvred him, because of the shape and size and state, if I can use that word, against the fighter of Ruiz. It wasn't acceptable coming in defending his titles. So what has AJ done since losing to Ruiz to prove to me that he belongs in the ring with somebody like Tyson Fury, the best of the best? Nothing. So he's got something to prove against Pulev. And I think he can, but Pulev will be very confident.
Physically as well, we've seen Anthony Joshua change shape, haven't we? Over the last sort of 12, 18 months, he's slimmer up top, and genuinely, and Rob McCracken's spoken about how he's been doing even more boxing. It was getting a bit tasty here. Yeah,
sorry, I know they're having a right good chat with each other. This is what the fans want to see. It's what I want to see, because Pulev's obviously coming confident. I don't know what he's saying, but AJ's responding, and they're having a good old chat there. So see if Andy Scott can get anything out of them when he has his chat. But this for me is taste. It's what I want to see, because I've got a feeling Pulev will come into the ring very confident. Listen to Bob Arum, and he'll be talking to him as well. And AJ now is kind of being put on his back foot there by Pulev.
Well, everyone who fights AJ now, because what Ruiz did, will say, put it on him early now. Because Carl said he hasn't answered those questions yet about what his confidence is like when he takes a shot. So they'll say, put it on him early, because you want to just stem that confidence, take it away if he has any, take it away quick, whack him on the chin. Because, by the way, some of those things you were saying about Joshua...
They're still going, guys.
Still going for it.
But some of you said about Joshua actually were positives, that he's been hurt before, but he comes back and fires back. So I think he has plenty of fire in his belly. To be fair, I think he's proved that time and time again. The Klitschko fight alone showed that he can get up and fire back and get the win. And I think that says a lot about a fighter.
As a fighter, when the back and forth is going on and the face-off, they become very steely. Can it actually get to you, or did it get to you, Carl?
It can get to you, yes, definitely. And sometimes it depends on what's being said, and we can't hear what they're saying here. But by the body language and by the reaction of Anthony Joshua here, Pulev is getting inside AJ's head and making him respond and making him react. He pulled his mask down there a minute ago, and he didn't look happy. So Pulev will be trying to get into him and say, "Listen, I know what you're about. I've seen flaws. I've seen, I know how to beat you." I think that's probably what's going to go down there. But it's good. I like what I'm seeing, because it shows that Pulev is coming to win, and AJ is going to have to be forced to put a performance on. And if AJ performs the way in which I think he can, boxing and moving early on, and then gets down to work after round 6 into the later rounds, if he starts putting his combinations together and shows us the old Anthony Joshua, I think it's going to be spectacular. A great performance, and it will set him up for the big one next year.
Well, we couldn't quite hear what was said between those two, and it's still going on. This is absolutely brilliant. Anthony Joshua's going to be making his way over to Andy Scott. Well, perhaps not now. It's spilling over. I mean, you can't believe these two have actually been in the same hotel.
It's crazy.
You'd think they would have been kept separately looking at this.
I sort of disagree with Cal. I think it's important for Joshua to start early. And because Pulev likes to fight, likes to dictate the pace, he slows you down, and then he does a good job to get that into play. I think if you fight at a high pace,
I know what you're saying. Get his respect early.
Yeah, I think so.
It's risky for Josh. Don't forget, he's been done. He's been over. He's been struck to his boots, and he's been knocked out and done, and kind of forced to retire himself at that fight, in that Ruiz fight. He needs to gain confidence, and that one fight, the rematch fight against Ruiz, wouldn't have filled him full of confidence, because he kind of just he boxed and moved and boxed to a game plan. But I need to see him just take his time early on and then get to work when Pulev starts to fade.
Well, let's see if we can find out what was said between the two of them. As you can see, Anthony Joshua is standing ready and waiting. Let's get back to Andy Scott.
Anthony, emotionally charged Wayne there. What sparked all that?
I don't know, bro. That's just how we are, innit? You come talking a lot of rubbish. I don't want to swear on TV, but he spoke a lot of rubbish, and then just back yourself, really. That's all it is.
You put your finger in his face and you told him something there. Can you tell us what it was that you said?
Don't really want to repeat it on live TV.
Okay. He said, normally I like you, but tomorrow I'm going to beat you. I mean, you must be prepared for him to say that.
Like, many years I've been watching boxing, and I've seen so many fighters talk a load of rubbish. Then they get smacked up in it. So that's just him doing what fighters do. Unless you study boxing, that type of stuff would intimidate someone, but that don't really intimidate me.
You're very calm now, but was it ticking up there? Was the nerves and the adrenaline going?
I would have just clapped him in his jaw there and then, but I've got to do it tomorrow.
Just give us a quick word on the weight there. Just 3 pounds heavier than you were against Ruiz too. Is that a good weight for you? That was a performance where we saw the best of you.
Good weight, yeah, I feel good.
Will you just try and simmer down now and keep it all in the tank for tomorrow?
No, I train tonight.
You're going to train tonight?
Yeah, keep a good routine.
But you've been sparring this week. Will you do a few rounds tonight, or is it just a shakeout?
I sparred yesterday, so tonight, tonight will just be a shakeout.
Is this fired you up just that little bit more though, with everything that's just gone on there?
Nah, I know what he's like. I studied him. Like, he thinks he's a warrior. But I said, don't let the guys that you fought gash you up. You're in against a real one now.
You said yesterday, and you said it quite humorously, but felt that there was some meaning in it. I want to destroy his soul.
Who said that? Yeah, because I know what it's like. When people come in the ring with me, they're confident, then after a few rounds, their soul gets destroyed. And once I see that, I can take them out.
Just finally, I know you hate giving predictions, but you have said in the build-up, respectfully, I don't see this fight going the distance. Do you stand by that?
Yeah. We're big boys. We punch like, don't know how to explain it, but we punch heavy. So first man to land, I think that'll be the last man standing.
No doubt. Best of luck tomorrow.
Respect, yeah. Thank you very much.
Going by that, I'd say that Anthony Joshua looks pretty fired up. He just wants to get it done, doesn't he?
He's on autopilot. You could see his eyes.
Yeah.
He wasn't listening. He almost like just went to he did an interview. He won't remember any of that. You could see in his face. He's a bit peeved by what Pulev said or gestured there to him for sure.